Thank you very much first for coming on the show. It's very
That's okay. It's good to be back at the BBC, Bob.
Can we just firstly get it out of the way? What has exactly happened here? The paper said you've been sacked.
They fired us.
They sacked you?
They fired us, yeah, they fired us.
So they phoned you in the morning? What
it was, there are two words here, both mealy and mouth. They rang me up and said, hello, Danny, and it was 8:45. And I thought, you know,
hello,
just
Danny,
coming...
Did we wake you?
8:45, I'm on the air that night, you know, and they just said, hello, Danny, listen, and I've never spoken to anyone at the BBC. I really haven't. They've never lent on us, done anything. Right. But I was aware the show probably wasn't that popular with the BBC. It was going through the roof with the callers, luckily. Anyway, so they said, we've done a couple of reviews of the show recently, and do you know what a review panel is? Yeah. Well, the review, and they've looked at it, they've looked at some of the angles you've been talking, and really, you know, some of the times you've been controversial, and actually we don't want to carry on with the show. So I said, from when? And they said, and I said, tonight? And I said, you weasel. No. I told you, I wouldn't be able to stomach this. I said, who's leaning on you? No, it's purely and simply, you know, like the referee, like, when I heard that.
Basically, your show has always been completely up front. This is not a debate forum.
Yes, yeah, I mean, because a few of the, I know the one thing I was actually staggered by was the fact that it got this huge furore. I mean, I really thought, you know, because my wife actually said, you should tell someone about this. This is outrageous. They get you there to do a football show. It's doing well. Football supporters come on it, and then they can, you know. Apparently, you know, I insult one referee, I get fired. David Mellor insults the nation's intelligence for 3 years. He's up for a Sonny. Okay. So, anyway, but it wasn't. It actually wasn't up for. It wasn't any one incident. It wasn't anyone. They've parlayed it up into this thing that I'm some kind of shock jock maniac. It's not as simple as that. 80% of the shows were very funny. 15% were really good, and 5% were lousy. I think. But I do think, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. But it's not as simple as saying. I mean, if a show's a hit. I don't think they care one way or the other, but it was getting embarrassing for them to attend certain functions, etc., etc.
Right, that's what I mean. People at the BBC, people there, have to go and sit down with the people
If you're a sports network and football being ever more bound up in corporate nonsense, you can't afford to... In Scotland, it's been like this for a long while. If you offend Celtic or Rangers, they say to TV, it's our ball. Sorry, you're not coming in. We'll go there. Now, and I think the BBC's heading that way. They... whether it was the Tottenham thing where I had the CID come and see us.
Right, what do you do at Tottenham? Encourage them to throw...
Oh, this is such... All this stuff is such nonsense. It really is. I just said, you know, the way Tottenham's been run, I can't even remember the story. I said, pop your programmes onto the pitch. If they give us that usual platitude in a programme about, we're as upset as you in the, with the situation, I said, well, just pop them onto the pitch. I may have said, but as I remember it, pop them onto the pitch. And Tottenham sent the CID round, and then you think, this is odd. Football broadcasting is getting so far away from the dumb old game it is that the BBC genuinely think I'm a maniac, and the people who call me are nuts. They think, wow, that kind of opinion, it's the wrong audience for them or whatever. You know, it's never the wrong licence fee, but here we have the wrong audience. Anyway, so, and they said, whatever, they were shocked by it. And that's when you think you really are shocked. You really think people do leave grounds and say, well, I'm disappointed in the result. It was controversial, but we'll take each game as it comes. You think people talk like that?
All right. So what do you feel about it? What are you going to do?
Well, I think already the BBC Dirty Tricks department has moved into operation. There's been... curry powder in the air vents in my car. People keep knocking on the door, running away. But they're famous for that.
Don't stab on the bag if it's on fire.
Yeah, no, I'd say coming here tonight. No, I'll probably... I am, in fact, going across town to give Talk Radio a whirl. Because I actually do think in the end, and without being, you know, depreciating on every show I do, I think the football shows are really good. They rock. When they're going, they're really rocking.
Right.
And so I wanted to do it again. So Talk Radio said, do you want to come up and go against David Mellor? Which I feel is like poking a blind man in the eye, but... Yeah, all right. Let's do that.
Just by the way, when did the phone call come from Talk Radio? Was it after the second announcement? Or?
Yeah, there'll be various ways people tug at your coat in this game.
Right, okay.
It was after.
If you do go,
I am gone. I've gone.
When you do go to Talk Radio and when you start,
I've been on earlier.
If somebody phones up, if I was to phone, I would never. If somebody phones up and say, "Oh, you was talking about the ref earlier tonight, Dan, but you've got to see things from their point of view," will you feel that you've learnt by your mistakes and say?
I shall probably say he's got a very difficult job to do. The man has got to be... I never actually... I know I keep giving 1,000-word answers, but I never actually... I've seen some quotes in the papers. I said, all referees deserve a slap, which in retrospect I wish I had said. But anyway, I didn't say that. What I said was when you've got a game, like, especially like the Leicester game, which sparked all this off, which the BBC are trying to lean on as, you know, example of my largesse, when you had something like that, and if there are billions involved in football, if you have got people's lives and you've got that emotion involved in it, and people taking days off work, the decisions can't be down to some erstwhile van driver from Yarmouth who's in a bad mood. And I said, and I still hold by this, you're dealing with the same stuff that on Hackney Marshes or wherever your local park is. If you do that, you're in trouble. And if you compound that by then going to people, as referees do, I said, sooner or later, somebody's going to slap a referee, and I'll tell you what, I can understand that. I said, and that referee tonight is dealing in dangerous emotions, and I still stand by that, and I think they're nitwits.
What else can I say? But Danny Baker.
Thank you very much.